Yes, welcome everyone out here to NBL1 men's clash between Waverley and Kilsyth here at the Waverley Basketball Centre here in Chadstone in Melbourne's southeast. And well, the most anticipated game of the season is finally here. Waverley take on Kilsyth, and of course I'm Will, because I'll be the special comments in today's game. And of course joining me, who will be commentating play-by-play today's game, is Liam. Thanks, Liam, for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Will. It's been pretty, big build-up for this game, as you said, and interestingly, straight off the bat, I wasn't aware Dylan Travis not in uniform tonight for the Falcons. That's a big loss, isn't it?
Absolutely, and well, we mentioned in the last game, Liam, about Falcons losing Carly Ernest, and of course it came to fruition at the end. What is the Falcons going to do, of course, about their key player out today? Yeah,
it really is a massive hole. I mean, the second leading scorer for this Waverley team behind DeAndre McCorder. I mean, he's put up 18.5 points per game this season, 5.3 assists. That's sixth in the NBL1, just over 5 rebounds and 2.5 steals a game as well, which is also second in the NBL1. And I'm sure you saw his amazing game winner against Bendigo a few weeks ago. He's been fantastic, hasn't he?
Well, they're now got to find other scorers, don't they, Waverley? And they're going to have to go up against the likes of Chris Patton, as well as Peter Hooley and Terry Smith-Milner, and of course Felix Van Hove, who also are NBL Melbourne United based players. And I tell you what, Waverley might find themselves a big task today. Yeah,
lots of NBL talent out here on the floor for the Cobras. But it's been interesting because they've actually dropped, surprisingly, 5 games in a row. It's unbelievable because, as we've talked about, they've got so much talent, and again, they dropped another game last night, so they fell to the Eltham Wildcats. Chris Patton had 25 points and 12 rebounds, but a number of their stars struggled. Peter Hooley had 7, so did Owen Otoji, and Felix Von Hoff, only 2 points to his name.
Yeah, and I tell you what, talking about the Wildcats, I saw that game in full last night, and I thought Eltham played one of the best games I've seen this year, and I tell you what, they'll be they're also flying on the radar, aren't they, this year?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I'd love to know what you saw last night, Will, because I didn't get a chance to catch that one. What do you think the Wildcats did that really helped them get over the line?
Well, what the Wildcats did really well was shut down the likes of Peter Hooley. Obviously, we know how good Peter Hooley is. Obviously, Owen Otoji and Torrey Smith-Milner, and let Chris Patton try to do all the scoring and be that one-dimensional team, which they did last night. And unfortunately, the defense really knuckled down really well for the Wildcats last night.
Well, it's certainly a story. I mean, they started the season 6-0, the Kilsyth Cobras. Now they sit at 6-5. Can they get the job done here today at Waverley? The Dylan Travis-less Waverley Falcons, they lost last week in really disappointing fashion to the COE. They nearly got done by 30 points in the end. Yes. So hopefully just a blip in the radar for the Falcons, who otherwise have been really impressive in their first season up from the Big V.
Exactly right. And I look, obviously we're going to get our opinions and views on who's going to end up winning this game, because look, I think Kilsyth will bounce back. They're too talented enough to not drop another game today against the Waverley team. As you mentioned about Dylan Travis not playing today, and that will help them. But if Kilsyth think they're just going to walk in here and just expect to win, they've got nothing coming, because I think Waverley, they'll find ways to win, and we've seen it this year, and they just can't walk in and win it. But I think Kilsyth should win it, but don't be surprised about the margin.
Yeah, and the Cobras are without Ben Ursich, who's over in China at the moment with the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix.
Correct.
So there's an important player out for Kilsyth. I'll be interested to see how DeAndre McCorder goes up against the bigs of Kilsyth. Obviously, Chris Patton we spoke about, and there'll also be times where I think he's going to match up on Toey Smith-Milner, and even possibly Felix Von Hoff for moments of the game. So a lot of options down low the Cobras have, and he should have his work cut out, I reckon. But at the other end as well, I mean, so damaging on the inside is DeAndre McCorder, so a chance to really put it back at him as well.
Great. It's going to be a fantastic game, no doubt about it. Of course, our officials in today's game is Tori Earl, Mitch Hare, and Leanne Burton. Of course, 3 referees, like the NBL style, and of course, it translates down here. I think the one to watch out for, how is Peter Hooley going to bounce back from last night's disappointment at Eltham last night.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would have to be a once-off for Peter Hooley. He's the star of the NBL1, and you'd think there wouldn't be another 7-point performance coming up for him.
Of course, big loss for Ballarat, having Peter Hooley over at Kilsyth, because he played fantastic. He had one of his best years at Ballarat last year, and unfortunately now he's at Kilsyth. And Ballarat, as we've seen a couple of times this year, there's been struggling about one of the Spinners players at the moment.
Oh, Ballarat have been flying. Don't you worry about them. They've been Kwani and Jerry Evans Jr. Well, and Sam Short as well, who was obviously there last year as well. So we're going to have another tip here by the looks. Peter Hooley playing kick-up. So
that's very rare for me to mess that up completely. Apologise to our Ballarat listeners or viewers. So here we go, we're underway. Peter Hooley will get us underway, and almost a turnover straight away as Smith Milner with the ball.
So Patton now at the top. He's picked up his dribble. Hancock doing his best to deny Sean McDonald. Here is the two big men, McHorter and Patton. Spins and throws up the hook. No good though. Didn't even touch the rim on that occasion. Maybe just cooling down after a hot night last night in Eltham. Here's Harper. Into the starting lineup with Dylan Travis out. Down low to McHorter. Bullying his way in. No good though with the layup attempt there.
And that's somewhere Waverley's going to really have to make it good on too.
Patton will let it fly. Just a little short, but Arkell and Smith Milner get tangled up.
Chris Arkell's got a big task. Obviously, we know Chris Arkell's credentials, but in the big V side of things, but this is a different base altogether against Torrey Smith Milner.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pumped to see some of the stars from both teams go at it in this one. We've got a bit of a delay here in the game.
Reset to a fresh 14 now.
So Peter Hooley the inbound. Michael Harper, unsurprisingly, on him, the defensive specialist for the Falcons. Here's McDonald, finds his way to the hoop and misses the layup.
Wow, wide open too, by the way, Liam.
Disappointing miss there for Kilsyth. And Hooley straight away right up in the grill of Harper. Patton gets a hand in. So they reset now, the Falcons. Into McHorter. Straight again, getting to the hole, and here's Arkell. Disappointing breakdown there for the Cobras. Arkell found himself in for an easy two. Once again, McDonald forcing the issue. Here's Smith Milner. That one drops for Smith Milner. The first three-pointer of the game for Kilsyth.
Well, we're seeing a couple of those times he's done that for Melbourne United in the NBL last season.
Yeah, so dangerous when you can go inside and outside. Toey Smith Milner. He's Arkell now. McHorter is wide open from the mid-range. No good though, but Hancock comes up with it. The Falcons will get another go at it now. Arkell in motion. A little short though. So Patton corrals it straight ahead to Owen Odygie. And he bullies his way in for two and one, Owen Odygie.
That is just way too easy. You've got to force them to go to the line and shoot two free throws, not just let him just, get the foul and then let him get the shot up. It's just way too easy, unfortunately, there for the Falcons.
He's a powerful athlete as well, is Owen Odygie. So it's a tough ask for Michael Harper, who unfortunately on that occasion came up second best.
Well, Patton's coming off here early in this first term.
Isaac Turner coming in as well now. So they're going a bit small here, the Cobras. Looking for a three-guard lineup. Ooh, misses the free throw, but comes up with it. Sean McDonald now will take it back out.
Yeah, where was the boxer now on that free throw?
Hooley driving hard to the hoop, gets in all the way for two. Peter Hooley found the gap and took advantage.
Won the six-man, was in the six-man award nominees in Melbourne United in the NBL season last year.
One of the many reasons why this Kilsyth team is so well regarded. Sean McDonald comes up with a steal and he's away. Hancock's trailing, but Sean McDonald gets it to go.
Timeout here.
And the Kilsyth bench is up and about. Timeout on the floor. They take an early 9-2 lead.
Yeah, well, the key players really has really helped them here. McDonald, Smith, Milner, Hooley, Odygie all had poor games last night. Or stepping up to the plate here and try to make no mistakes then. And as we can see, it looks like Obviously, wave about Dylan Travis. Not sure why he's actually not playing. I think he might be with an injury, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I would assume that would be the case because we saw him out here last week against the Centre of Excellence. He wasn't his best game by his lofty standards, so perhaps he was carrying an injury into that one. I'm not too sure. But yeah, nonetheless, 2.5 minutes into this one, they have missed him early on.
Correct. So, as you mentioned, 7th v 8th on the ladder. Waverley on a little bit of a up and down so far, and Kilsyth, as we mentioned, and harped on a fair few times in the pre-game, Liam. They're on a bit of a slide, and they've got to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting this afternoon. Waverley missed a chance to really make a statement last week. Can they make up for it here? Meanwhile, Kilsyth will be just as hungry, coming off a 5-game losing streak. Pressing right up, are they, right now on the Falcons. They passed their way out of it, though. Here's Harper. Again, Hooley right up in his grill. Arkell, lovely
nice
pass to Harper.
Brilliant pass, wasn't it? Backdoor pass that time, and found Kilsyth wanting.
It was a fantastic play there from the Falcons. Here's Sean McDonald, the under-19 Australian representative. Towie Smith-Milner will let it fly. A little short, though, so DeAndre McCorder comes up with a rebound. Harper now hands it off to Hancock. McCorder a long way from the bucket. They double Arkell down to McCorder. He's got the smaller Turner on him. Count it, and one. DeAndre McCorder does the job down low. And that is a position, Will, that he's very comfortable in.
Correct. And that's what Waverley got to do. They've got to take advantage of the mismatch down low because he's got the height advantage, he's got the weight advantage, and the size advantage there as well. So they've got to take advantage of his abilities down low.
Yeah, absolutely. I think DeAndre McCorder has a size advantage over just about anyone in the NBL1. As Turner lets it fly.
Oh, stuck ball. Now, of course, for anyone that listens to my coverage of the Big V, I had a strategy that they should count that for any time they get the ball stuck on the rim. I don't know how that's going to work, but anyway.
I'm sure Kilsyth will agree with you on that occasion anyway. Here's Harper. They're pressing right up on him. Hancock got a few Falcons ahead of him. Opts to fire anyway. Oh, an Odyssey athletic rebound to come up with it. He's pushing the pace. Euro stepping the way in. No good though, so here's Hancock. Bit of up and down action early on. Once again, McCorder down low. Travel call, says the referee.
Well done, Towie Smith-Milner. Great defensive play. That is NBL experience at its best right there. Because obviously, of course, Towie Smith-Milner also represents New Zealand as well.
Yeah, he did well to almost sort of pull the chair there on McCorder, who was just looking for body contact. And he never found it. Lost his balance and travelled. Patton with the screen on Lewis. Isaac Turner now with the ball handling duties for the Cobras. Got a mismatch here. McCorder doing well to stay in front of him. It's going to stay with Kilsyth though.
Shot clock at 8, Liam.
So the Falcons with a couple of buckets here. It's back to a 2-point game. Michael Wern to inbound.
Very similar stuff we saw in the earlier game too, Liam, where Kilsyth jumped Waverley in the women's, and as we saw, Kilsyth ran away with it at the end, but similar start here.
Yeah, Sean McDonald with the floater. That one drops home. Couple of points for Sean McDonald. Once again, not afraid to make the Waverley guards think about it, the Cobras. Here's Arkell. McCorder will shoot the three. No good there. Oh, and Odyssey once again skying for the rebound.
Not sure that was the right shot selection that time by McCorder.
Yeah, Kilsyth will be happy with that. Certainly better off than having him down low as Chris Patton can't get the hook to drop. Here's Harper now. He's going to hand it off to Hancock. So they're sharing the ball handling duties a bit here with Dylan Travis absent. Arkell with Turner in his face. Good defense in the end by Isaac Turner. Here's Patton. McCorder defending him. Inside to McDonald. Turns it over though. Arkell got the hand in. Lewis ahead to Arkell, who's going all the way to the hoop for two.
Nice play. Brilliant play, Liam. great play. They should start using that fast break as well when they can.
Yeah, Chris Arkell just kept running to the hoop. They never picked him up, so an easy 2 for the Waverley big. Turner thought about it. Now we'll get it back. Lewis doing well to defend him. Owen Otagy's open here.
Oh,
3-pointer drops for Owen Otagy. The Kilsyth Cobras with their second 3 of the game. Out to a 5-point lead with 4 minutes remaining in the first period. And Wern just got a hand in. It'll stay with Waverley. Once again, Patton giving McCorder all the space he wants as Arkell has the mismatch. Just rattles out though. Missed opportunity there for Chris Arkell. In and out move from Turner, driving hard to the hoop. Good D from Benny Lewis though. The Falcons come up with it. And they're pushing the pace. Lewis going all the way. Fouled, so he'll go to the line for 2 shots.
well, will Benny Lewis be the player that can share the scoring load and the defensive load rebounding, especially in the absence of course, Dylan Travis?
Yeah, he's going to have to step up. He played well last week, Benny Lewis, especially in the first half against the Centre of Excellence, but towards the end of the game when the COE really got out on a scoring run, a lot of their offensive options dried up a little bit. As the first 3 throws a little short.
Of course, for our viewers at home, of course, keep in mind, this is the first meeting that Waverley and Kilsyth have played, and we'll see that a lot this year where the big B teams take on the Seabull teams, which they haven't played against each other as clubs for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. The Falcons ecstatic to be. What a spin move from Peter Hawley. Spinning and scooping to the hoop. What a move. Here's Cody Fredrickson checking in really early. Now we've got Hancock in the corner. That one drops. The Falcons fire straight back.
Cody Fredrickson had a fantastic game last night in the youth men's game against Dandenong last night.
And not one to normally check in so early into the contest, but in the absence of Dylan Travis, he's found his opportunity as Hawley will fire. That one off the side of the backboard, though.
That's not a good shot for Hawley.
And an air ball from Chris Patton. Benny Lewis throws it ahead. Touchdown pass to Chris Arkell, who gets it back to Hancock. No good. Geez, just a bit of a missed opportunity. It's a right idea from Lewis as Turner pulls up. Bit of chaos ball at the moment. Benny Lewis is cutting loose, driving hard to the hoop. That one no good. Arkell cleans it up, though.
Well done. Well done, Chris Arkell.
He's covering some miles at the moment, Chris Arkell.
Very similar to what we saw from Renee Mockey earlier today for the Falcons.
Up to 6 points in the game already for Arkell. Here's Wern. Oh, lovely move to find himself in a bit of space. Turner will fire. No good.
He loves that 3-point shots, doesn't he?
Yeah, he hasn't got one. Well, he might have got one to go, but yet to really catch fire. Very dangerous player, though, isn't he, Isaac Turner? Fredrickson down to McCorder. They double him. Fredrickson with a world of space. Just couldn't get it to go. Arkell working hard. Blocked, though, by Chris Patton. Good D from the Cobras and Peter Hawley. What can he do here? Picks up his dribble, gives it to Towie Smith-Milner. That one, though, rattles out.
Should have made that one.
And Arkell will pull up in transition. No good, though, there. He loves the transition 3-pointer, Chris Arkell.
He does. Seen that many times when he played here at Waverley and Diamond Valley.
So here is Hawley. Scored with a wonderful bucket moments ago. Turner cutting to the hoop. Again, another missed layup from the Cobras. That one, though, gets it to go for Chris Patton. Coming off a huge game last night. Geez, Hancock in a world of space. You can't get him to pay. So Peter Hawley now to reset things for the Cobras. They lead by 3 here with a minute to go in the first. Here's Patton. He scored on the last possession. Out to Wern. The wing 3-pointer is no good. Hancock nearly falls out of bounds, but it will stay with Waverley. 53 seconds on the clock.
I think Waverley will be happy with this. It's in their tempo at the moment, but they've just got to get the ball in the hoop.
Yeah, they've looked pretty comfortable early on. Arkell's been fantastic. Here he is on cue. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Bowls into Toey Smith-Milner. He gets the charge call.
Well, Waverley thought it was flopping. I don't think that was a flop. That was a clear drilled right into Toey Smith-Milner.
They've done their scouting, haven't they, the Cobras? I mean, they know McCorder likes to get his shoulder in and use his strength. And
that is number 2.
yeah, so he takes a break now, McCorder. Smith-Milner did well to recognise what was happening there.
Well, in the Melbourne United's championship year, 2 years ago, he was one of the key players in the grand final series against Adelaide, making some big plays down the stretch, especially on the defensive end. And he's done that here so far in this first quarter. But be interesting to see how this goes. As you know, Peter Hooley's done a fantastic job so far at this stage, but as he's about to hopefully pick up the ball in the moment, Liam.
So he just letting the clock stay where it is, as he still hasn't picked it up. Here we go, Peter Hooley, 35 seconds on the clock. They want the 2-for-1 by the looks. I don't know if they'll get it.
No.
So the 3-point is no good there. Here's Lewis. The game clock is just ahead of the shot clock, so it's pretty much the last possession for Waverley. Lewis to slow it down now. Von Hoff defending him. Dean Neville checking in moments ago. He comes with the screen. Here's Arkell from the wing. That one a little short. Odyssey, though. They've got some time to work with the Cobras. What can Peter Hooley do here? Smith-Milner with the 3. That one's off, though, so it's the end of 1. The Cobras lead 18 of 15. Good start from both teams here. How have you seen the game so far, Will?
Oh, look, fantastic start by the Kilsyth Cobras. Most importantly, got out to a 7-point lead. And, of course, through the hands of Chris Patton, who had a fantastic start. Cooled off a little bit in the middle part of that game. Then Waverley started to come back really well through Chris Arkell. His hard work inside. And Matt Horter, he's had an awesome game so far. And I thought Benny Lewis coming off the bench really sparked the Waverley offense there. And at the moment, it's currently a 3-point game at the moment, which is fantastic for both teams at the moment. As I also need to mention to you, while that last play was going there, Liam, that the head coach of Melbourne United, Dean Vickerman, just turned up to Waverley, so he would have saw his Melbourne United his team there. Of course, Hooley to Smith-Milner for that last 3-pointer, but. Yeah,
a bit of a Melbourne United flavour here. We've got Justin Schuler as well, the Kilsyth coach, of course, an assistant for Melbourne United in the NBL. So, obviously come to see how his troops are going, Dean Vickerman.
Correct, but, you know...
Also, one other face I've noticed is D-Max in the crowd as well, the coach of the Knox Raiders, of course. So, a few names in the crowd today at Waverley.
Correct. Well, we'll just quickly go through some other scores for you as well. Just going back to the women's. What a game at Frankston. It went into overtime. Ballarat got over the top by 2 points, 89-87.
Unbelievable. The Ballarat Rush continue to salvage their season. Just come from nowhere. 32 points for Olivia Hackman. She's been fantastic. Shanice Jenkins with 16 and the youngster Georgia Amor with 15 as well. So they've come from the clouds to really make a run at it. Maybe they're in a chance for the finals all of a sudden.
Correct, and of course, Steph Reid, as always, had 25. Taylor Lee helped her out with 24. Sheree Taylor with 19. There, we'll keep you up to date with all the men's scores as well as this game goes along, as Kilsyth gets the ball back, Liam.
Yeah, so here we go for the second period. Tim Leasting checking in for the first time as it's a turnover. It was a wayward pass to Von Hoff, who just couldn't corral it. So they opt with Fredrickson once again. The youngster getting a run against one of the NBL1 heavyweights here. Lewis now. Over to Leasting. Inside to Arkell. He's got Smith-Milner on him. Back out to Fredrickson with the skip pass. Leasting cutting hard to the hoop. That's a tough finish if he gets it to go, but Chris Arkell cleans it up on the glass.
He's been fantastic, hasn't he, Chris Arkell?
He really has been. He's been the player of the game for Waverley so far in this one. Owen Odygy. Oh, lovely pass into Smith-Milner. Inside. Owen Odygy just making things happen here for Kilsyth.
Well, they had to step it up, didn't they, from last night's disappointment, as Hooley picked it off.
Hooley comes up with it. Driving hard to the hoop, chucks up the floater. And Von Hoff will come up with it. He'll take it back out. Hooley wide open. Back to Von Hoff. A little short though. And Fredrickson comes up with it. No, Von Hoff gets a hand in. Hooley to fire. And another miss. As this is 3 offensive rebounds in a row. Here's Sean McDonald. Hooley. Back to Von Hoff. They just settle things down here a bit. It was some chaotic basketballs. He turns it over with a cross-court pass. Benny Lewis comes up with it.
What a spark he's been coming off the bench so far.
I think he's a starter for this team, Benny Lewis. He's been fantastic this year. Here's Leasting. Over to Arkell, who picks up his dribble, and he's turned it over again to Sean McDonald. So here he goes. He's got 2 defenders on him. That was a tough finish if he could get it to go. Well done from Leasting and Lewis. And now inside to Arkell. So he'll shoot over the top of Hooley. That one, though, no good. So both teams have dried up a little bit here the last few possessions.
Well, Chris Arkell thought it was the foul. No call on that one, which was pretty good call at the end.
Over to Hooley, who will fire. Leasting gave him a lot of space, and he made him pay. Peter Hooley. Up to 7 in the game now, the leading scorer for the Cobras.
Chris Arkell leads with 8 for the game.
Over to Lewis. He's going to pull up. That one just a little strong. Confident stroke, though, for Benny Lewis. Peter Hooley was right there. Leasting with a hand in, but it's a foul call. It's going to stay with Kilsyth.
What a game Sean McDonald's played so far, too. Coming off, of course, a very ordinary game last night by his standard. Because, and starting to make some impact, Sean McDonald.
Yeah, he's at 4 points and a couple of steals as well early. He's been active on the defensive end. Of course, Sean McDonald named in the EMU squad for the Under-19 World Cup coming up later this month in Thailand. That'll be good to see how they go. Von Hoff from the corner. Another 3-pointer for the Cobras.
Dean Vickerman liked that one. Just saw his reaction a moment ago.
And geez, Benny Lewis with no hesitation. That one, though, didn't go down on that occasion. McDonald's pushing the pace now. Draws the foul with the aggressive drive to the bucket. Leasting cannot believe it. And is that a tech foul?
Not sure. We're about to find out. That's number 2, though, on Leasing.
Just the foul call by the look, so.
Second team foul, by the way. Be interesting to see how Kilsyth can go without Sean McDonald when he has to go to Thailand later this month.
Yeah, certainly. He's an important player for the Cobras. I mean, with Ben Ersic to come back in, that should help a bit. And obviously, Peter Hooley at the point guard position does a pretty good job generaling this team. Mick Horter just manhandles the rebound. It's out to a 10-point game now. The Cobras just creeping away here in the second period. The Falcons need a response. Here's Mick Horter at the top. They've done a good job at keeping him away from his spots the last couple of minutes, the Cobras. They come over the screen, double, and they've turned it over. Here's Owen Odygy now. Out to McDonald. He'll fire from the wing. Benny Lewis comes up with a rebound, so the Falcons now to push it the other way. Here's Leasting. Hooley on him. Blocked by Sean McDonald. Good team defense from the Cobras. And is it going to be a jump ball call? DeAndre McCorder doing well not to give up the foul. So Leasting to check out. Matthew Hancock coming back in for Waverley.
Well, where, as we said, where's the scoring going to come from for the Falcons? Sound like a broken record, Liam, but where's the scoring going to come from other than Chris Arkell?
Yeah, you're right. They've struggled outside of him so far as an air ball from Hancock. Bit of a tough mid-ranger there. And Benny Lewis has got tangled up with Peter Hooley. He looks in a bit of pain here. Might have got winded.
And there's a foul against him, though. Peter Hooley.
So we just take a break
sure
here
he's
for
okay.
Lewis to catch his breath.
Great sportsmanship by Peter Hooley, one of the most respected players, I should say, in the competition, not just in NBL1, but also in the NBL as well.
Absolutely.
Most liked too around Melbourne too.
He's gone from strength to strength the last few years as we just get the call for the mop on the floor. Bit of a break in the game. Of course, he's the leading scorer so far this season for the Cobras with 17.8 points per game. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, DeAndre McCorder leads the way this season with just under 20 a game. Of course, we've mentioned as well, if you've just tuned in, Dylan Travis not in uniform today.
Big blow, isn't it?
Massive blow for Waverley. One of their most important players, if not maybe their most important. Here's McDonald. Over to Hooley. He's been active early. So is Owen Odyssey. Here he is now into Patton. He'll fire.
Bit undecided, was he, with that shot?
Yeah, he thought about shooting it. In the end, indecisiveness was the final determinant. Here's Harper. McCorder posting up. He's a long way from the bucket, though. He's got to pass out of this double. Harper will fire. A little short, though. There's Arkell working hard once again down low. Von Huff comes up with it. And tell you what, outside of Chris Arkell, the Falcons have not had a lot go their way. Von Hoff in motion, though. That one a little short.
Another rebound for Arkell. Jeez, he's almost at Renee Mockey's pace at the moment from the last game.
Yeah, once again, it's been the relative role players for the Falcons that have been doing all the damage. Here's McCorder. He's got Von Hoff on him. Tries to create some space and does well as Chris Patton to come with the double. And they come up with the ball, the Cobras.
Should have taken advantage of that, Waverley, but got burnt on that one.
Over to McDonald.
Oh.
Three-pointer drops for Sean McDonald. The Cobras once again with another three-pointer.
My goodness. Just having a look at some other scores, Liam, in the women's side of things. Melbourne 78 smashed Aubrey Wodonga 59, and Monique Conti, what a star she is in both sports, AFL women's and also basketball. Conti with 24 points for the game. Daniels with 29 for Aubrey Wodonga.
Yeah, she's been fantastic, especially in recent weeks. Had 35 last weekend. Monique Conti, one to watch here in the NBL1. Here's Harper. Doubled. Gets his way out of it to Arkell, who looked like he nearly walked there. Here's Larkin checking in moments ago. Does well, though, just Desmond O'Willie to come up with it. Ahead to Hooley. It's going to be a blocking foul on Arkell.
And Waverley now out to team foul number 4. Kilsyth without a foul just yet.
And the second personal in the game for Arkell. Wouldn't want to pick up another one before the end of the half as Benny Lewis comes in for Larkin. Just a short stint out on the floor for him.
At half-time in the men's game at the Rings, it's Bendigo 38, Ringwood 35.
The Cobras just moving it around. Here's Smith-Milner down to O'Willie. How about this for some ball movement? Hooley, no good. The big man gets the board, though. Desmond O'Willie. The Cobras will get another shot at it now. Here's Toey Smith-Milner. Once again, McDonald wide open. Defensive lapse. And timeout on the floor. Elias Palianos doesn't like what he sees. The Falcons giving up wide open three-pointers.
33-17, isn't it? That's not a good sign for the Falcons at all. And as you mentioned, Sean McDonald is killing them, not just on the offensive end, but also on the defensive end at the moment. And
yeah, Sean McDonald, I mean, he's had a couple of wide open three-pointers in the last couple of minutes. They're just breaking down a little bit defensively at the moment. And notably, Waverley haven't scored in 5.5 minutes of game time.
Correct.
Showing on the scoreboard as well, 33-17.
Well, we mentioned in the pre-game, and we mentioned throughout the whole day today, not just in the men's but in the women's as well, where's the net scoring going to come from without their key players out? Obviously, we found out in the women's with no Carly Ernest in the team, Waverley got smashed. At the moment, without Dylan Travis for Waverley, they're down by 16.
It's a massive
Where's the net scoring from? Where's that person that's going to get Waverley back in this game and give themselves a real chance to win this game against the Cobras?
Well, we've seen Dylan Larkin and Cody Fredrickson both getting some big minutes here in this one in the absence of Travis, which is a little unusual. Some of those, I mean, those two players often aren't seen until the fourth quarter when the game is over. So good for those two individuals, a chance to prove themselves against one of the premier teams in the comp. Here's Lewis, pushing the pace to Arkell. Thought about it, did Benny Lewis. He'll back it out, though, now. McDonald with 2 steals on him. Going hard to the hoop. Good challenge, though, from Desmond O'Willy, and the Cobras come up with it.
Tech foul against Benny Lewis. Had too much to say to referee Torrey L.
So,
and that's the referee you don't want to get a tech foul against.
Very much an ill-advised tech foul to give up, obviously. And now they're in the bonus as well, the Cobras, with 3 minutes 44 remaining. And all of a sudden, Waverley are on the ropes here. Been a tough 5 minutes for the home side.
And Lewis' second personal, by the way. Oh, Billy Hurley is very disappointed with that one. That missed at the free throw line. And they doubled the score too, by the way, Liam. 34-17, 17-point margin.
They've well and truly dominated the second period, partly thanks to this man, Sean McDonald. Hancock defending him. And here's Toby Smith-Milner. They don't even try and challenge that one.
And burnt them badly.
Absolutely.
Where was the defensive lapse there?
Looked like he was just a shoot-around there, Toby Smith-Milner. Absolutely no defense there. And that is the 7th three-pointer of the game for the Kilsyth Cobras. They're 7-21 from long range at the moment. Turner nearly comes up with it. And that'll be a foul on O'Willy.
I think for Kilsyth that's okay because, look, they have plenty of fouls to give. And he was sort of going for the drive for a little bit there. I don't think Kilsyth would be worried with that foul.
Yeah, I reckon you're spot on. It's a well-timed foul. Here's Lewis. Arkell. Smith-Milner hit a 3 on the last possession. Nearly comes up with it. It will be Kilsyth ball. Last touch, DeAndre McCorder. So they're doing a good job just to push McCorder away from that block. He's getting the post-up opportunities, but more in the mid-range, isn't it?
Correct, I agree. And but that comes down to the defensive scouting that Justin Shirley has had so far.
There's O'Willy cutting to the hoop for an easy 2. The Falcons are breaking down here. It's out to a 22-point margin with 2 minutes 40 remaining in the first half. Here's Hancock. They need a bucket, Waverley. Into Harper in the post. Von Hoff on him. O'Willy comes to double, chucks it up. What a tough finish there from Michael Harper.
Well, they need more of that, you would think. Not of the tough shot, but need some scoring.
Yeah, talking about an unlikely source of points over the Twin Towers. As McDonald a chance for his 3rd three-pointer. No good there, though. So Waverley, what can they do here with 2 minutes remaining in the first half?
Offensive foul. Now, who's this against? This will be interesting. That's on McCorder. That's his second.
And McCorder cannot believe it here.
And just got pinned for a warning as well.
I'll tell you what, I didn't see a lot of contact there. So Michael Wern is checking back in as well into this one. Once again opting for the 3-guard lineup along with Turner and Sean McDonald. And here is Sean McDonald to Turner. Driving hard over to McDonald.
Oh,
3 balls good.
Him.
Sean McDonald once again. And you're right, Will, he is killing him. Leading scorer in the game with 14 points is McCorder with another go at it. Barrels into Smith-Milner, but once again pulls the chair.
And another, I think this might be a check here.
So was he called for a warning or yeah, it will be the technical.
And that's his 3rd. It is all gone downhill for the Falcons, unfortunately.
I'll tell you what, the referees are taking absolutely no rubbish this afternoon.
Correct. And look, this is. We'll wait on this free throw. It comes down to attitude. Look, you're down by 24 points at the moment against one of the best teams in the comp. You know, just forget about the refereeing, forget about what's gone wrong. trying to find a way to come back in this game, because at the moment it's not happening.
Yeah, it's going to take some steady heads from the Waverley perspective. Out to a 25-point margin here with still a minute and a half remaining in the first half. Big screen from Smith Milner. Leasting, though, comes around it. Here's Turner. Pulls up from the mid-range. Turner with the pull-up, Jay.
Tell you what, this would be almost the worst first half that Waverley's had this year.
Here's Leasting, forcing the issue. It's going to stay with Waverley. It's a foul call. Fouls on Toey Smith-Milner.
In other games, in the men's, Bendigo 49, Ringwood 42. 5 minutes ago, third term. In the men's.
And we'll have the NBL1 updates throughout the game. Plenty of action going on this afternoon. Here's Tim Leasting. Arkell will pull up with Turner right there. A little strong though, but Neville gets a hand in. Hancock to fire.
Yes.
Much needed bucket for the Falcons. There's Peter Hooley. In and out, cuts to the hoop. Chance for two at the line. Peter Hooley a little worse for wear after that fall.
Frankston 27, Ballarat 23 in the men's second term, 8:27 left in that first half, and it is currently at 9 apiece between Melbourne and the Bandits.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Tigers go in the absence of Dane Pinot. Of course, he's been leading the league in rebounding. Dane Pinot has been fantastic, but away in China at the moment with the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Here's Hooley at the line.
Be intriguing to see when we come up to the actual NBL season how both Melbourne teams would go.
Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? Two teams back in Melbourne in the NBL. Of course, we last saw that with the South Dragons. It's fantastic to see the league going from strength to strength. Here's Tim Leasting.
Oh, here we go. Oh.
Arkell on the second attempt gets it to go. Odyssey flew in with the block attempt, but he just managed to double pump and find his way out of it, did Chris Arkell. Here's Wern. Oh, what a move. Blocked, though, by Benny Lewis. Back out to Hooley. The Cobras to reset. Wern to fire.
Oh, well, it's all going 3 points for the Cobras, isn't it?
They are getting the job done from downtown. That is their 9th three-pointer already in the game.
There could be a record coming up for NBL1.
And Benny Lewis, that's a tough shot there. Smith Milner in, turns it over though to Leasting, into Arkell.
This will count if it goes in.
It's going to count. Chris Arkell. Perfect finish to the first half here. It'll be 50-26. The Cobras, though, out to a dominant 24-point lead, Will.
Yeah, certainly right there, Liam. And, well, it all went downhill, didn't it, at the start of the second quarter. And, well, Waverley, look, they've come back, but it was a lot of defensive lapses. There was a lot of indisciplined plays, fouls, tech fouls that shouldn't happen. Look, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board for Elias Palianis and his coaching staff to try and figure out how they can get back in this game, because at the moment it's all Cobras at the moment, and you know the way this game's going, it's looking the same way as what happened in the women's game earlier today.
Yeah, certainly they have had a few defensive lapses, and similar to the women's game, it's been from the 3-point line. They've left Sean McDonald wide open on numerous occasions, and even one point where we saw Toey Smith-Milner just, you know, have a cup of tea before he took his 3-point shot. He had that much time. So they certainly need to clean things up there. The Cobras are 9 of 24 from the 3-point arc,
wow,
shooting 38%. And meanwhile, the Falcons are 11 of 40 from the field.
Yeah, that's not good, is it? But it goes to the point, though, Liam, of what was the message at quarter time, and did the team follow that message in the second quarter? Because to me, looking from the inside looking out, it sort of, as outside looking in, it didn't look like at all they followed whatever the game plan was.
They certainly looked rattled there, the Falcons. I mean, we saw McWhorter get teed up, perhaps a little harshly. I mean, he remonstrated with the referee only temporarily and then was teed up without much hesitation. But nonetheless, I mean, in the second half, they're going to need steady heads if there's any chance to get back into it and at least challenge the Cobras.
Correct. We'll go around the league, Liam, at the moment. Of course, we're into the men's side of things at the moment. Ringwood and Bendigo at this stage. It is Ringwood at the moment 48, Bendigo 51, 228 to go third term there at the moment. And Turner with 23 points, having one of his best games. He actually got a double-double, 12, 23 and 10 so far, Liam.
Yeah, and looking around the NBL1 as well, Trey Armstrong has departed the Northwest Tasmania Thunder during the week.
Yes.
He's off to college. Big loss for them. He's their leading scorer, 16.2 points per game.
In other games, Frankston 34, Liam, Ballarat 25, 7.5 to go second term as Frankston will extend that lead now to 36-25.
Yeah, it'll be a big win for Frankston if they were to take care of business against the Miners. Of course, we saw the Cobras and the Miners in the NBL1 game of the week only a few weeks ago. That was a cracker down at Kilsyth Basketball Stadium.
And at the moment, it is the Bandits 18, Melbourne 17 at the moment in the early stage in the first quarter out at MSAC. Yeah, but Liam, obviously NBL1 at the moment. Ballarat are on top. They're 10-1. They're 2 games clear of number 1. Obviously, if Frankston can manage to hold on and win, that gap will go down to 2 games over another 1. But we can already see the separation between the top 3 teams, which is at the moment Ballarat, Nunawading and Geelong.
Yeah, certainly it seems like the Miners, the Spectres, and even though the Cobras have dropped their last 5, obviously we still think they're probably in the top 3 or 4. And the Super Cats as well have been impressive. I think that's your kind of top 3 or 4. We can also see the Tigers and the Rangers thereabouts. But, yeah, I feel like at the end of the day, it's going to come down to, in my opinion, the Miners and the Cobras and the Spectres at the pointy end of the season.
Correct, and especially at the top end of it's very hard to go to Ballarat and win. We all know that. It can get very cold out there too, so which teams are not really adapted to, especially a couple of the big V teams that haven't been out there throughout, especially for the first time. They're going to find out how tough it is to play at Ballarat. Any disappointments for you this year?
Oh, look, not really. It's always interesting to see when you get a new competition with some new teams, you know, who's going to be where. I mean, I think the Albury-Wodonga Bandits are a team that stands out to me, though. They've been up and down. I mean, lost to the Miners by 60 points at one point, and then of other games they've played quite well. So hard to get a read on where they're at, the Bandits. They're probably one team where I'm interested to see how it plays out from here for the rest of the season.
We mentioned in the last game in the women's how the big V teams are going super well at the moment. But in the NBL1 in the men's, it's a flip effect. The big V teams have sort of struggled this season. Eltham down the bottom end of the ladder, Don Valley's down the bottom end, Knox is down the bottom end, and Ringwood are down the bottom end of the ladder at the moment. And but what's your read on the Southern Sabres? They're down the bottom of the ladder. A Seabull team from last year, and they just haven't really clicked, have they? Yeah,
it's interesting. They've got, obviously, David Barlow there, superstar, really, of Australian basketball, and they were actually able to upset the Cobras on their home floor a few weeks ago, and that started the Cobras' 5-game losing streak, but since then, I mean, they've only had 2 wins on the season, the Sabres, so clearly a lot to work on. For me, it is a little surprising, and now I think about it, if there's any team that stands out to me as a little disappointing, it would be them. I mean, with such a quality player in David Barlow, you expect them to be mid-table at least, probably.
Correct. I guess in other things, obviously, Waverley are doing pretty well. The only big V team that actually is rising up to the occasion. Obviously, at the moment, they're not really showing it at the moment in this game, but they've come out of nowhere at the moment, and they're currently 6-4. They could drop to 6-5, but they're definitely the surprise packet this year. Yeah,
absolutely. The lone big V team, as you said, to really impress. And look, they have been a bit up and down, but nonetheless, really encouraging for them in their first season up in the big leagues in the NBL1. Hey, there's been another team that's been in the news during the week, the Centre of Excellence. I don't know if you caught NBA Commissioner Adam Silver giving the program a shout-out.
Oh.
Unbelievable. Obviously, RJ Hampton coming over and choosing to play with the New Zealand Breakers has got the Australian development system right in the news. And it's fantastic to see, what's been a fantastic development program for years and years now, getting worldwide recognition.
Correct. And at the moment, they're doing well at this stage as well, keeping up with the top teams at 7-7 at the moment, to the Centre of Excellence. And I guess in hindsight, that win by the Centre of Excellence last week probably came as no surprise, really, considering the talent that they've got in that team and the way they've been going along this year. Maybe that win last week was really no surprise, Liam.
Well, what did surprise me is just 2 weeks prior, those two teams played here at this very venue, and Waverley actually won by 27. So 2 weeks later, it's literally completely flipped the script for the Centre of Excellence to win the same game by 27. So obviously they do have differences in personnel week to week with, they take different people on road trips. Obviously they've got the NBA Global Academy there. They've got a whole host of athletes to choose from. But I think they are very talented, and definitely with a full squad they could make some noise in the playoffs. But the problem is so many of those guys are going to go to college in the next month or so. So in the second half of the season they're going to be left quite short. Obviously Coonan heading off. I believe Hyung Jung Lee as well, going to Davidson University. There's a whole host of names like that who we won't see in the second half of the year.
Well, as we're about to go into the second half, Liam, obviously commentating this game at the moment, what do you see that needs to happen for Waverley to turn this around? Yeah,
look, they obviously need some more scoring opportunities. Chris Arkell's been fantastic, but if they're to win this game against the Kilsyth Cobras, one of the preeminent teams in the NBL1, they need more than one scoring option. Benny Lewis needs to come alive. DeAndre McCord has been having a crack, but hasn't quite got to his spots down low. If they can isolate him on the low block and start to get those and ones flowing, because that's when he's really at his best, then we might see the Falcons get back into it. But I think the number one thing, Will, is to really clean up the defence from the three-point line.
Especially on Sean McDonald from outside. And for Kilsyth, they don't really need to change anything, really, because I think they'll just keep rolling. Obviously, they need to improve on a couple of things, but other than that, I don't think they need to really change what they're doing at the moment.
They've been fantastic. I mean, moving the ball so well, they're measured in their offense, just always willing to make the extra pass, and because of that, they've often had, fantastic opportunities. Sean McDonald with wide open threes, and one other thing that's really impressed me is Towie Smith-Milner's defense on DeAndre McCord. McCord wants to create contact down low and really muscle his way in, and he just hasn't allowed that to happen. He's been, pulling back, pulling the chair, if you like, and there's been a couple of times where he's drawn the charge or caught McCord off balance, and it's really thrown him off his game.
Correct. Well, we're about to get on the way here in the second half here. As I guess looking at the stats here as well, turnovers are 9-4. So Kilsyth really have held the ball down really well in in the first half, and 32-11. I wonder that's going to come back to bite Waverley in the butt.
Remarkably, Chris Arkell's been playing fantastic, and he's already shot the ball 16 times through the first half. So obviously by necessity, there hasn't been a lot else happening for this Waverley offense. As you can see, as they turn it over Kilsyth to start things off. The right start for Waverley, who are on the ropes here. They need a big third period if they're to make a game of this one. Hawley right up in the face of Harper. Here's Benny Lewis into Harper. Backs him down now, turning round. Gets his shot up, but no good. Smith-Milner with the rebound. Here's Hawley. Patton with the screen. Back to Smith-Milner, who give it off to Sean McDonald now. Oh, lovely pass from Patton into Smith-Milner, and he's fouled by Hancock.
Too strong.
He'll go to the line for two, will the New Zealander.
As I said, Len, that was just too big, too strong, unfortunately.
Yeah, once again, the Cobras just finding the right opportunity with their patience on the offensive end. As the first one a little strong for Smith-Milner. Been a little shaky from the free-throw line today, the Cobras. They're 5 of 10 from the charity stripe.
Well, they don't really need to when they've been shooting three-pointers all game.
Yeah. In fact, they're almost not too far off shooting better from the three-point line than the free-throw line, the Cobras. As Harper over to Lewis. Into Harper. He's got Owen Otaji on him. He's got to opt it out to Arkell, who turns it over. But McWhorter works hard. It will stay with Kilsyth as McDonald ahead to Smith-Milner for the slam. The Cobras running the break.
Two-hand over the top by Terry Smith-Milner.
Passes inside to McWhorter. It's going to be a foul call, so McWhorter to the line for 2.
I think that's something that Waverley, as I said at the start, they had to take advantage of that mismatch, and they haven't gone down to it enough.
And that's the position they want to find him in, isn't it? The Falcons. Obviously pushing the pace allowed him to get McWhorter isolated down low as he gets the first one to drop from the free-throw line. And that one goes for the Falcons' leading scorer this season, DeAndre McWhorter. They're struggling here offensively. 28 points, their total reads. With 8.5 remaining in the third. Here's Hooley, Patton with the screen. Over to Smith-Milner, who'll fire. No good, though, on that attempt. So Hancock now for Waverley. Just opts to hold it up. McWhorter's got Patton on him. He does give it to him, but he's all the way out at the three-point arc. What can he do here, McWhorter? Smith-Milner comes with a double. Out to Lewis. Good D from Kilsyth. That's a tough jumper from Benny Lewis. That one off, though. Good D from the Cobras.
Yeah, didn't give them much, did it? They had about 2 on the shot clock by the time he got it up.
What a pass from Chris Patton into a cutting Sean McDonald. Once again, Kilsyth finding the right option. And there's a foul call off the ball. It's going to be here.
Sean McDonald with the foul there.
His first personal foul of the game. He's up to 16 points now, Sean McDonald. 2 assists and 2 steals as well to go along with it. The game's leading scorer at the moment. Otaji gets a hand in. It will stay with the Falcons.
Just an update at Ringwood. It's Bendigo 55, Ringwood 53.
And Ringwood taking it right up to Bendigo. Here's Arkell wide open on the wing. No good there. Crashing the boards is McWhorter, and he's called a foul.
That's number 4, I think. It's either 3 or 4 is on now.
And he's going to check out now for Dean Neville. So, yeah, you're right. Personal foul number 4 for DeAndre McWhorter. And you feel like that was possibly a little harsh once again on the big man.
Well, I'll put it this way. We'll let you call this last play.
And Patton makes his move to the hoop, but fumbles it out of bounds.
Look, Kilsyth did their scouting. They knew that they're going to get mismatched with McWhorter down low, and at the moment it's proven that way. As look like we might have a blood rule here. Yeah, it's a blood rule against Otaji there.
So he'll head to the bench.
You know, you can't really tell if it was blood or not if Kilsyth's colours is red. So, but nevertheless, the referees found it.
So turn it right up on Michael Harper. Here's Neville.
Oh.
Jeez, turns it over. Sloppy pass. Isaac Turner comes up with it. Euro steps his way through for 2. Turner taking care of business on the break as he reaches in on Harper. That'll be a foul call.
Well, they double their margin, double their points again, Kilsyth here.
Just a dominant display this afternoon for Kilsyth. Can Waverley do anything to turn it around from here? The game's probably just about out of reach, it's fair to say, but can they sort of add some confidence and respectability back to this contest?
Look, I think they can. They've got to find, you know, when we said how good Waverley have been in regards to the season so far, they've got to find respectability now. Get this margin back down to maybe 15 points or even lower, maybe 20 at least, and then chip away in the last quarter to get it down to about 10 by the end of the game. That's what they should be aiming for.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, a lot of things going against them today, the Falcons. As Matthew Hancock gets it to go from the wing. Obviously, Travis is out for Waverley. McCorder is in foul trouble. This is a real chance to step up, in some pretty tough times and show some resilience as a group as Peter Hawley finds his way to the hoop for 2. He's been great today, Hawley.
He has. He's on 10 points too. As Waverley will pace the ball up.
Hasn't necessarily exploded offensively today, Hawley, but he's picked his spots perfectly as Harper draws the foul.
So on Torrey Smith-Milner, his second personal foul.
Michael Wern to check back in for Peter Hawley.
Well, if I was Elias Pianos here, this is probably the lineup. He has to stay on the floor now just to get that margin back for the Falcons, because at the moment the bench hasn't done much today. So this is literally the lineup. Obviously, with McHorter on the bench now with 4, this has got to be the lineup. He's got to have the whole game until the last quarter. Maybe bring McHorter back then, but for now, this has got to be the lineup. He has to stay on the floor. Yeah,
Dean Neville set for some extended minutes by the looks. As McDonald down to Chris Patton. He's backing down Benny Lewis now. Makes his move to the hoop. That one goes. The little baby hook drops for Patton.
That's only 4 points for him today. After last night's burst.
He's been a lot quieter as he turns it over. Michael Wern now. Back out to Patton. Just hands it over to Smith-Milner, who once again, lovely pass to Wern. McDonald's open at the top.
Oh, what a game by Sean McDonald, Liam.
3 ball for Sean McDonald drops. Another one for him. And 19 points in the game for the youngster. Lewis driving hard. That one, though, just comes out. Arkell comes up with it, but Turner with a hand in. Kilsyth now. Turner, geez, forcing the issue. Patton comes up with it. Couple of buckets in a row now for Chris Patton.
Ringworth just extend that lead to 58-55 against Bendigo, as Arkell will go to the line.
So it's out to a 34-point margin here. Kilsyth just dominant in this one. Odyssey to check back in.
Look, here's Falcons' chance. Keep throwing it to the basket. Kilsyth are now in the penalty.
Yeah, still 5 minutes as well to go in this third period. A bit to work with for the Falcons as Arkell gets the first one to drop.
We could see a big upset here, Liam. 60-55 Ringwood, last term 6-12 left.
Wow. Arkell gets a pair to go. Turner now to generally offense for the Cobras. He's got Patton coming with the screen. He takes it. He's going to pull up Isaac Turner. That one drops.
Well, I don't think the defense really did the job they could have done on that one.
It's been a 3-point barrage this afternoon for the Cobras. That's 3 ball number 11 now for Kilsyth. Here's Lewis. Once again, cutting out of the hoop. And again, the Falcons get to the free-throw line. Starting to make their bread from the charity stripe over these last few minutes.
Well, the shots are not going down. It's simple as that. So the best way to do it from the free throw line, and then your outside shots and your post shots will eventually come from that,
Yeah,
which they haven't done at all.
And at half-time, they'd only had 3 free-throw attempts. So it's good to see him coming up with some attempts at the line now, forcing the issue and drawing the foul as DeAndre McCorder comes back in for Chris Arkell.
This is a surprise. This is the surprise. I'm surprised he's coming out now. He's playing with 4. Can he stay out of foul problem now for the rest of the way?
I suppose it might be a bit of a chips-in situation for the Falcons. I mean, with the margin at what it is, there's not really much time to waste. So Lewis gets the first one to drop for Waverley. 8 of 10 from the free throw line in this one for Waverley. And Lewis only has 3 points in this contest, Will. He's been a pretty quiet affair for him so far.
Well, Ferguson's come on the floor. He had a fantastic game last night in the youth men, even though the youth men lost as well last night.
Leasting is well checking back in. Here's Smith-Milner. Neville gets a hand in, and McCordy comes up with it round the back, but turns it over. Michael Wern back the other way now, cutting right to the hoop. That one goes.
And trying to say that was a foul too. Not going to happen.
Into McCordy. This is the situation the Falcons want, and he makes him pay. McCordy gets it to go for Waverley.
They need a lot of stops right now. It has to start right now.
Up to 7 in the game. 7 points and 7 rebounds, and also 3 steals. Isaac Turner from the wing.
Hot. He's getting hot, Liam.
Absolutely. Yet another 3 ball for the Cobras drops.
I'd love to know what's the 3-point attempts and mates for Kilsyth at the moment. And Leasing airballs the 3-pointer shot.
12 of 28 in this one. 43% for Kilsyth.
Wow.
It's certainly been one of the differences in this game.
Ringwood up 64-59. They just hit a 3-pointer against Bendigo in other games.
So Felix Von Hoff back into the game as well. Haven't seen him much so far in this second half. Turner again. That's a deep 3. A little strong though on that attempt. Fredrickson. Thought about giving it to Leasting. Neville to Hancock in the corner.
They needed that.
Much needed 3-pointer for the Falcons.
And they need a lot more than that.
Just their 4th 3-pointer of the game as well. As Smith-Milner down low. Back to Turner. No good there for Turner. So back down to earth a little bit for the Kilsyth guard, who's been hot this afternoon. Mid-quarter. Hancock once again. No good though that time. Here is Isaac Turner. Hooley and Desmond O'Willie getting set to check in. Von Hoff came with the screen. It's back out to Michael Wern now. Over to Smith-Milner. Into Owen Otoji. Again, the ball movement from the Cobras. Plenty of options on this team. Von Hoff. Step back 3. Felix Von Hoff with the 3-pointer. And lets out a little smile as well. That was a lovely fadeaway.
Yeah, he's putting on the show for his Melbourne United coach, Dean Bickerman.
A fairly quiet weekend by his standards, so it'll feel good to see that one go down as Fredrickson lets it go. Good team rebounding from the Cobras. Here's Michael Wern. Von Hoff. Smith-Milner will pull up now. No good though on that attempt. So it's a 36-point margin here. The Cobras have just been dominant this afternoon. The Falcons just haven't had any answers. Here's McCorder. What can he do? Muscling his way in. No good as, geez, Leasting did well to crash the boards, and he's drawn the foul in the process. So a couple of free throw attempts coming up here.
Well, Waverley's starting to get a bit of a roll a little bit, but obviously they're giving away a fair few threes now, and when you give fair few threes at the start, Kilsyth are just going to hit threes whenever they feel like now because it's just been way too easy at the start.
Yeah, they've got their eye in, don't they? Isaac Turner's been on fire from downtown. As Leasting, the first one just rattles out.
3:02 to go at Ringwood. Ringwood 66, Bendigo 64.
Looks like it's going to go down to the wire in Ringwood. O'Willie comes up with the board. Checking in moments ago along with Peter Hooley, who is on your screens right now with the basketball. Over to Otoji. What can he do here? Von Hoff will fire. Kilsyth is locked in from beyond the arc this afternoon. Von Hoff once again.
Tell you what, I'd love to see what the record is with 3-pointers at the moment.
Here's Larkin, 13 of 32. They've let him fly this afternoon. But it has been working as McCorder gets it to go. Lovely move down low.
Frankston 52, Ballarat 41 at halftime.
Possibly a bit of an upset down there in Frankston brewing as Hooley had time to think about it. No good, though, on that occasion.
And Melbourne 42, Bandits 40, second term 4:03 left.
There's a few dejected faces, I think, over there on the Waverley benches. Wayward pass from Fredrickson, trying to find the cutting Dylan Larkin. So Dielemans to check in for the first time in this one.
Correct.
First time we've seen him this afternoon. Of course, with the margin sitting at 37 points, we might see the bench is emptied in the last quarter, I'd say. Here's Hooley with 20 seconds on the clock. Game clock just ahead of the shot clock. Willie now into Von Hoff. Hit a couple of threes in this quarter. Dielemans to Von Hoff. Thought about it. Another step back three-pointer from Von Hoff. A little short, though. Hooley comes up with it. Ahead to Hancock. Game clock winding down. Pulls up in transition. No good. So at the end of three, it's 80-43. The Cobras with a dominant display this afternoon. And the Falcons, meanwhile, Will, with a lot to talk about.
Well, they do, don't they? Again, it just goes to show that Kilsyth didn't let the foot off the pedal in that quarter either. 37 points. They actually extended that lead again after leading at 24 at the half. And, you know, when you leave so much open from three-pointer, and to be honest, Liam, it was the Isaac Turner third quarter.
Yeah, he was fantastic, wasn't he? At one point, hit three three-pointers in a row. He's come back down to earth a tad since. He's got 12 in the game, as you can see on screen there. 13-34 from beyond the arc, Kilsyth. They have let it fly, but it almost feels like they've been shooting better than 34%.
Correct. I agree with that. And but it comes down to the defense, right? If you leave players wide open like that, especially the likes of Isaac Turner, Sean McDonald, as well as, especially Sean McDonald at the start. But if you lose those really good players wide open, even Van Hoff, who normally doesn't shoot three-pointers, if you leave those players wide open like that, they're going to hit it.
Well, Von Hoff's a sharpshooter from long range. He's something he worked on in his time in college as well. And how about some of the step-backs we've seen from him as well in this game?
Well, 80-43 here, Liam. And I tell you what, just going around the courts very quickly. Melbourne 44 lead, Bandits 42, second term there. Frankston 54 lead, Ballarat 43, 8:26 to go, third term. And out at Ringwood, it is currently sitting at 70-66. And in that one is...
minute 22 on the clock as well. Could be a very tight finish down in Ringwood.
Correct. As that Bendigo, we'll keep an eye on that one in particular as we get underway here in the last quarter.
Once
Liam.
again, Cody Fredrickson getting some extended time here. Turns it over to Owen Odygy. He's exploding to the hoop as Owen Odygy draws the foul for two. What an athlete is Owen Odygy. And in reality, Fredrickson probably did well to stop him from converting the N1 there.
We'll keep you updated with the Ringwood Bendigo score as it goes along. As this game is well and truly out of reach, Liam.
Yeah, it's a long way back as the margin creeps toward 40 points here. That one just drops home for Owen Odygy.
Bendigo just hit a basket to make it 2-point game, 70-68.
Oh. Could we have another game winner here in the NBL1?
Could be. Oh, unfortunately, we're not going to see that here, Liam. Let's put it this way.
Chance to see one of the teams that, well, two of the teams that could be there in the NBL1 finals at the end of the season. 7th versus 8th as well in this one. Travel call from the referee. The Falcons sitting in 7th prior to this one, with the Cobras sitting in 8th. Both teams on 6 wins. Clearly the Cobras to jump the Falcons with a win here.
Well, they need to. They had to stop the slide eventually after a fantastic start, and they've done it here at home.
And what a way to do it as well. Really quite uncanny to drop 5 games in a row for this Kilsyth team. So they've done well to, you know, get the confidence back up here as the shot turned into a pass down low to Smith-Milner, who couldn't convert. It'll stay with Kilsyth. And he's got the mismatch on the smaller Fredrickson and takes advantage. Toey Smith-Milner. He's got 11 in the game.
Back at Ringwood, a minute to go. Ringwood hit a basket at the line to make it 72-68.
Leasting inside to Fredrickson, who wasn't expecting it. Smith-Milner ahead now to Hooley. Throws up a little floater. No good though. Patton is fouled.
It won't count.
Thought he should have made the and one there, Chris Patton, but he'll get a chance to clean it up at the free throw line. So it's definitely quiet here at the moment, Will. It's the Waverley crowd. Not a lot of noise here. It's been a tough afternoon for the home side.
Unsportsmanlike foul in the Ringwood Bendigo game sends Ringwood to the line. 2 shots plus the ball. Ringwood by 4 with 16.5 left.
Eight points in the game for Chris Patton.
So a big upset there. Ringwood, great job. About to knock off Bendigo.
It'll be a big result. As Fredrickson, once again, they're pushing up on the young guard. They will stay with Waverley, though. Mikorda to back down. A couple of defenders blocked by Owen Odyssey. No, it's a foul. So Mikorda to the line for 2.
Fouls on Patton, though, from behind.
Fourth personal foul in the game for Chris Patton. And Von Hoff to check back in for Toey Smith-Milner, who walked off a little gingerly there. First one drops for Mikorda. We've now gone over the 40-point mark in the margin. And it's, you got to say, I think it's quite a really worrying 2 weeks for Waverley to get, thrashed by the COE and now demolished by the Cobras.
Around them too.
Yeah, they at one point looked like with a win over the COE they could improve to a 7-4 record, equal second on the NBL1 ladder. Just 2 weeks later, as a backcourt violation will happen for the Cobras. Hooley doesn't like it. I think he thought Larkin touched it there. I'm not sure.
I guess you can have a chuckle once in a while, can you?
He looked flabbergasted with that call.
I know.
But, yeah, as we were saying, I mean, the Falcons, a tough couple of weeks, so a lot to work on for them.
Well, they're still just above 500 at the moment.
Geez, turns it over Lewis, and really an unnecessary turnover as well, as Von Hoff with a little round-the-back move. It's all smiles here at the moment for Kilsyth. Still playing their stars as well. Here's Patton. Backing down Mikorda. Puts up the hook shot. That one, though, pops out. Mikorda comes up with a rebound. Rebound number 10 for DeAndre Mikorda. He's got his double-double on the afternoon. 11 and 10 is Lewis going hard to the hoop. Larkin missed the tip-in opportunity.
So the game is over in Ringwood. It is very close to being over. It is over now. Ringwood 74, defeated Bendigo 68.
Big win for the Ringwood Hawks.
Yeah. Great last quarter too. 23-13 last quarter got the job done for the Hawks. Turner with 25 and 16 for the Braves. 15 to Sturt and 7 rebounds. For now with 14.
22 points for Mathiang Muo. And did you see the move last night in Bendigo from Muo?
Yes, I did.
That was unbelievable. One of the plays of the season, I reckon, in the NBL1.
Yes. Well, if not the best this year, should be in the top 5 at least.
Just the jab step just absolutely lost his defender, who clearly must have slipped there as well, so probably made it look better than it was, but what a pretty play from Muo.
Correct. Hate to be the defender going to be in the highlights reel for the rest of this year for the wrong reasons.
Mikorda gets to go for Waverley, so he pads his total a little bit. He's fought hard this afternoon, DeAndre Mikorda, but the Cobras have done a good job to keep him away from the bucket. Here's Sean McDonald. He's been fantastic as well. The leading scorer in the game with 19. Got a mismatch on Andrew Noller. Out to Turner. A little short, though, that time for Isaac Turner. So Fredrickson driving hard to the hoop. Leasting will come up with it for Waverley. McCorder can fire from the top. Three-pointer drops for DeAndre McCorder.
Well, he hasn't even been on a roll. Timeout, Kilsyth.
Well, it's back to a 36-point margin with, 6 minutes and 43 seconds left. There's time to, work on some things for Waverley and maybe cut the game to below a 30-point margin at least.
Correct. Well, in other scores at the moment, Frankston 58, Ballarat 50, and if Frankston can manage to hold on, they are looking to upset Ballarat's just hit a 3 now to make it 58-53 in that one. And Melbourne 51, Bandits 49 at the half at MSAC.
High-scoring game happening there at the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre.
But yes, well, Waverley, this is probably the best period that we've seen from them since the first quarter of the game, Liam, because it's just been Kilsyth dominance. They've got 4 players in double figures. If Venov can make another basket, they've got 5 players in double figures. While Waverley, well, it's pretty much Hall had some fantastic players in there. Hancock had been in and out, and Arkell as well sort of cooled down in this game so far.
Yeah, certainly the offense has been sparse for Waverley, especially during the second and third periods in this one. McDonald splits the double, driving to the hoop, misses the lay-in though. So Fredrickson now the other way. McCorder with a flurry of buckets there before the timeout. Isaac Turner pressing up on Fredrickson. Here is McCorder. What can he do here? He's got Smith Milner on him. Hands it off to Fredrickson. Out to Leasting, he'll fire.
Oh, here we go.
3 ball drops for Tim Leasting.
Can Waverley get on a bit of a 3-point ball run here?
And it's the first bucket of the game for Tim Leasting, who does have 5 rebounds and 4 assists to his name. Here's Von Hoff. Had a couple of pretty 3-pointers earlier. Turner shook his defender with a nice move there. Out to Odygy. Leasting, though, right up in his face. He's fouled.
I thought Leasting did a fantastic defensive play up to that point because, I thought it would have been easy to blow him off, but there by Odygy, but Leasting did a fantastic job to at least now put Kilsyth at the line, which they've been struggling so far at the line today.
Oh, and Odygy did a great job to draw the foul there, exploding to the ring as the first 3 throw drops. So 34 points is the difference at the moment. The Falcons with a little run, though, over the last couple of minutes. Odygy takes care of business at the 3-throw line, and we'll check out for Michael Wern. It's been a good afternoon for Owen Odygy. Hasn't been required to, dominate offensively, but at times has... She's...
Oh! What a slam dunk!
Unbelievable. What a pass as well from Fredrickson.
Was ready for that all the way, Liam.
Whew.
At least some highlight for the Falcons.
Yeah, that'll put some smiles on some faces here at Waverley. Travel course as the referee.
Just caught Kilsyth napping, did he?
Wowee. Well, I'll tell you what, we've got Matthew Angmuir in the NBL1 Top 1 Plays of the Week. I think that one might join it because that was a huge throwdown.
It was. It definitely was. I don't think I've ever seen that one in a while.
Fredrickson just escapes the arms of Isaac Turner. Larkin pulls up. That one drops home for Larkin. The Falcons on a bit of a run here in the 4th period.
Absolutely. And Kilsyth only been signed 11 points so far for the term.
All of a sudden, it's back to a 31-point game.
Waverley have 14 for the quarter.
Von Hoff picks up his dribble back out to Hooley. Shot clock winding down. Hooley finds his way to the hoop. They wanted a travel call to the Waverley bench, but they come up with the defensive rebound nonetheless. Leasting ahead to McCorder. No good though on the layup attempt as Patton comes up with a rebound. Bit of a missed opportunity there for Waverley. Here's Wern. Patton tries to give it to Hooley, with Leasting doing a good job to deny him off the ball. McCorder didn't want to give up his 5th foul there. Isaac Turner found an easy 2, driving to the bucket. Andrew Noller as well, checking into the game for the first time a couple of moments ago. Von Hoff will come up with it.
I thought Doray McCorder has done really well to stay our foul problem here and really creating some opportunities for his teammates.
Yeah, and he's a big reason why they've gone on a bit of a run this quarter. So you can see why he'd want to stay out of foul trouble. He's got 18 in the game. So, with 3 minutes 59 on the clock, the Cobras look like they're going to breach the 100-point barrier. Well, what an afternoon it'll be for the Cobras, as Nola's going to turn it over here.
Don't think he was watching where he was looking to see the pass ahead, but just didn't let the ball slip by him there.
So Von Hoff now with the screen for Michael Wern into Chris Patton. He's got the smaller Leasting on him. He will back him down. Good D, though, from Leasting. The referee says otherwise. He's going to go to the line for 2. Tough ask there to take on the bigger Chris Patton.
Well, Team Leasing's had a really good game considering he had to come up against down that low post today.
4 fouls for Tim Leasting. He'll stay in the game, though. First free throw is off for Chris Patton. .25 points and 11 rebounds last night in a loss to Eltham. Hasn't been quite the same dominant performance this afternoon, but meanwhile, they've had so many options, the Cobras. He hasn't needed to, as here's Peter Hooley. They come up with the steal to the Cobras. Once again, Dielerman's checking back in. How about that for some quickness? The youngster, the 3-point is good for Felix Von Hoff.
Oh my goodness.
He's 3rd of the game.
So now he is now the 6th player in double figures too for the Cobras.
And they're 4 points away from the 100-point barrier here. Nice pass into Larkin. Nice. Cody Fredrickson once again. Got some great court vision, doesn't he?
Correct, and he did that all night last night against Dandenong in the youth men, I should say. In obviously a loss there, not by much, by the way.
Did they play Ringwood?
No, they played Dandenong.
Oh, okay.
And they only lost by 12 points to Dandenong at the moment. Only lost 1 game as well.
So an easy 2 there for Chris Patton. Bit of a breakdown for Waverley. Nice cross-course pass to Noller for his first points. No good. Leasting crashing the boards, though, as Von Hoff just steps over the youngster.
Well, unless something goes horribly wrong for Kilsyth, they should get to 100 soon.
Yeah, on the brink they are. Noller will check out.
Frankston just extend that lead to 70-60 over Ballarat, heading to 3-quarter time.
Looks like a bit of an upset brewing down there in Frankston.